What's up, everybody? 3X to the Lex, back with one more video. Let's get into it. Today, I'm here to show you the Sega Genesis section on the Arcade Gas 43-inch Retro Plus arcade cabinet. Now, I've had quite a lot of requests for the Genesis section, so today I thought I'd finally dive into it. Now, the Sega Genesis section shows over 1,400 games just in this section alone. 1,413 to be exact. Now, when you get in this section, what you'll notice is that not only do you have all the American Genesis games, you have all of the Mega Drive Genesis games also. And a lot of those games were the Japanese versions of those particular games. The Japanese versions, let me explain it this way. The Japanese, in Japan, the Mega Drive was essentially the Genesis. So it just had a different name, but it was called the Mega Drive over there. So all of those games are included too. A lot of those Mega Drive games didn't come out in America. So you do have a few duplicates where you have the Mega Drive and the Genesis version, but for the most part, you also get some of the European Mega Drive games too. So all in all, you got about over 1,400 games. Now that's a lot. So this is a really giant section of video games. So far, I haven't encountered anything that doesn't work in this section. Now, of course, I haven't tried all 1,413 games, but this is a giant section to go through. And I think in America alone, it probably had over 700 or so Genesis games that came out. So you combine other regions and you just have a smorgasbord of Genesis games. So if you're a Sega fan, especially Genesis, this is this is definitely a thing right here. I remember a lot of these games, growing up, having Genesis. A lot of my partners having Genesis. Bulls versus Blazers, big basketball game back then. Just anything you're looking for, hey, you can find it here, period. If it's a Genesis game, it's here. I haven't run into any Genesis game yet that's not on here. So, you're pretty much covered on that section. So what I'll do is I'll go through some of the games I like from this era, and I'll show off some of the games so you guys can check it out. Alright. First, Eternal Champions. Okay. Eternal Champions, now this was a big fighting game that came out on Sega Genesis. Anybody that watches my channel or know me know I'm a huge fighting game fan. Very unique fighting game. It came out. It kind of stirred up a lot of buzz. It was unique at the time because it was primarily a console game, and most fighting games of that era was arcade games that ended up being ported to console. But this started out as a console game. It had like a resemblance to Street Fighter, but it was kind of more of an obscure theme to it and stuff. Had a lot of goblins, ghosts, a little bit across of Mortal Kombat from that era and stuff. They did have like fatalities and stuff in this game, so it's a unique game. I remember it being really popular. And interesting backstory to this game too is that the creators of this game, very interesting story. When they debuted this game ended up being really, really popular. Genesis had a big user base, and in America, it sold over 500,000 copies alone. And it ended up having so it was very popular, very successful. It ended up having a follow-up, not really a sequel, but more of a remix version for Sega CD that was even better. But they had a sequel for this game planned for Sega Saturn. Now, what ended up happening is that never actually came out because they ended up having a conflict with Sega of Japan, and this was an American-made fighting game, and it ended up being a big debate and beef because Sega of Japan wanted to push out Virtua Fighter around this same era that they wanted to develop the new Eternal Champions. They wanted Virtua Fighter to be the new flagship fighting game for Sega. Now, when that happened, essentially Sega of Japan had the final word because they were like the big boss of things. So when that happened, it caused a big stir up in Sega of America at that time. And essentially, it caused a lot of employees to actually leave the project and leave Sega. And it just ended up being a big thing. And honestly, I know it's a small thing because, Sega has a long, rich history about itself. But to be perfectly honest, that was like one of their faults and mistakes that they made. And they made many, but it's a reason why they're not around as a console company anymore, and they could easily have still been. But, mishandling the 32X, I got my own opinions about the Sega CD. Some people love it. I'm a 32X guy, though, and honestly, they should have debuted that and focused on 32X after the Genesis had been out for 2 or 3 years. Had they did that, they would have been like way ahead of the game at that time. Super Nintendo was like a year old, and they would have just been like way ahead of the game because at that time 32X was like way more powerful than Super Nintendo and Genesis, and it could pull off a lot of the games that those two systems were struggling to port from arcades and stuff. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Samurai Showdown. You could have some like outstanding ports of those games on 32X had that system come out a couple years earlier. Now, of course, it probably would have ended up being double the price, maybe $300, but had that system come out, say, 92, it would have definitely been worth it. And, they made many faults. I don't want to get into the history of Sega. I have to do that next time. Maybe on another stream or something, I'll talk about Sega exclusively. But in any event, this was one of their misses, is not letting them just develop a true sequel to the game. The series had a lot of potential. It was realized even more in the Sega CD remix version of Eternal Champions. So definitely I'll be showing that off in a new in a future video. So, anyway, it's a lot of games to show. I don't want to waste too much time on Eternal Champion. So, let's go with something else. Sonic 2. How can you go wrong with Sonic 2? One of my favorite Genesis games ever. One of my favorite platformer games ever. Just an outstanding game. Sonic kind of really gave Genesis that crossover appeal too. It just reached a new level of popularity. I remember Sonic 2 probably being the most popular version of that era of the Genesis. And it just really kind of took it to a new level. Way better graphics than the first one. Even faster action. Outstanding game. The emulation on these Genesis games are outstanding. You know, like the speed of the games is just how I remember it. The graphics look fantastic. You know, just the emulation. I haven't run into any emulation issues with the Genesis games. I mean, for the hardware, the Pi 4, I mean, the Genesis isn't really a demanding system, so I can see why I wouldn't have much problems, but I thought I would still pass that along. But yeah, this was really when Sega was at its best, though, definitely. This brings back memories, that's for sure. Playing this as a young guy, for sure. Pesky Robotnik got away again. Ha 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 ha. One of the things I liked about the Sonic series on Genesis, especially Sonic 2, was that it was a really bright and colorful game. A lot of Genesis games, especially from that era, were like really drab, especially like compared to like the Super Nintendo versions. I mean, the hardware wasn't as powerful as Super Nintendo, but a lot of games just kind of had a slight washed out drab look to it. But this game had like very smooth frame rate, very colorful, very vibrant, and fast action, and I just really liked it. I tell you, it's such a treat to have these console games on this cabinet too. Like when you really buy an arcade cabinet, I mean, you don't really necessarily think about. In most cases, it's becoming the norm to start expecting console games now. But in the olden years of just having regular main cabinets and stuff, like the main focus was primarily just getting the classic arcade games. But to really have all this stuff emulated well now, it's just a treat, because I mean, most people have lost all their systems and games at this point. Like I probably haven't owned the Genesis and, you know, probably since the mid 90s. Like it's just too much stuff to keep up with. But to be able to just play all of this stuff at the drop of a hat, push of a button, it's a beautiful thing. All right, guys, that's Sonic 2. Fantastic platform, my favorite Sonic game. Definitely check out Sonic 2. Space Harrier 2 was on Genesis also. The first two Space Harrier games. It's a solid port, and I'm a huge Space Harrier fan, Afterburner fan. It's a solid port of the game. It's good, but the thing is the 32X version was a lot better, and I had the 32X version. Plus, having this cabinet, I mean, you have the actual arcade version, which is, you know, the version you want to play. So, but it is on this cab just for the sake of completing the sake of you know, letting you guys know about it. All right, another game I want to show you, Shadow Dancer. Now, Shadow Dancer, this was kind of a side story to the Shinobi series. It debuted. It was this third Shinobi game, and it debuted after the Revenge of the Shinobi, and it was a really well done game, and very well done, and probably my favorite ninja game ever, to be honest. There are a few Shinobi games. How many? I'm thinking Revenge of Shinobi, Shadow Dancer, Shinobi 3. Phenomenal games. Shinobi Legions for Saturn. You know, in the original series. Then I know they had a 3D version, which I didn't like, on PlayStation 2, and the series has been dormant since then. But you know, yeah, man, Shadow Dancer was that game back then. You know, 1990. Whoo! This game was something else when it came out. Outstanding. Outstanding. I liked it. This is easily my favorite Shinobi game. They also had an arcade version of this game by the same name, but the arcade version is very different from the Genesis version. Different stages. You know, you still have the attack dog and all of that, but it was a different game. The pacing is different. The speed is different of the game. I like the Genesis version a lot better. And I like the arcade version of Shadow Dancer. It's on here too. But, you know, you definitely want to check this game out. If you haven't ever played it, or if you're not from, like, you know, you weren't playing Genesis in that era, or, you know, you're a younger guy and you get a chance to play this when this was new, you definitely want to check this out. You know, it's an old school platformer ninja game, but it's just phenomenal, man. The action is good. I was playing this game the other day. I wish I would have had it on camera because I played it for a while, and I was just really enjoying myself. Kind of almost forgot how fun this game was. And it's not an easy game either. The competition ramps up quick. Cool thing about this game, I like you can shoot the dog at people. Whoa. Whoa. The boss fights in this game was legendary too. But it's one of those games, if you get hit one time, you pretty much die. And it's a checkpoint based game, so you gotta make it like to a certain amount of stages to be able to certain duration of the stage, so you won't have to go all the way back to the beginning. It can be a frustrating experience with the bosses though. They definitely put up a fight. Alright, I'm getting my ass kicked now. Alright, that's Shadow Dancer. Definitely wanted to show you that. Yeah, Shinobi III also on here. Still an outstanding platformer, ninja game. I really like this. They took it up another notch with even better graphics. Very outstanding game. I just like Shadow Dancer better, but Shinobi 3 was an outstanding game. So many games, so little time. All right, Alter Beast. This was a very this game, very big game for Genesis back in the day. It was an arcade game when the actual arcade version is on here, and I preference it over the Genesis version. They're pretty close though. The Genesis version was a great port of this game, and this game came with the Genesis when Genesis first debuted. I remember it first came out. It included Ultra Beast, so that was back when consoles used to actually include 2 controllers too. So, and a video game, the good old days. So, but yeah, this game was super fun back in the day. You get the 3 orbs and you can transform it into a beast, and I really liked that. Yeah, this game gets challenging the more you play it too, especially on 1 player. But it's super fun. Whoa. I like the boss comes out and taunts you. That's always cool. Beat him down. All right, guys, that's Ultra Beast, the OG Genesis game for sure. So definitely check that out. Definitely check out the Genesis section. Tons of games in here. Really took me back seeing a lot of these games that I haven't played in years. And you definitely want to check this section out. Just any Genesis game you can think of is definitely here. So definitely, hey, check it out. Anyway, this is 3x to the Lex with another video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.